Hi everyone, Stacy Whiter here on behalf of Campus Mortgage with a quick appraisal compliance refresher, part 2 of the 3-part series videos. Now just a quick reminder before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice or used in place of Fannie Mae guidelines. Also, this video was created on April 3rd, 2017, and the information contained in this video is subject to change without notice. In part 1 of the video series, we talked about the announcement that Fannie Mae made in October of 2010, announcing that they were going to replace the HVCC with the appraiser independence requirement. Let's continue our discussion of those requirements. Let's talk about the acceptability of subsequent appraisals. A lender must not order, obtain, use, or pay for a second subsequent appraisal in a transaction unless there's reasonable basis to believe that the initial report was flawed or tainted. So in other words, maybe that the appraiser was tainted with previous information, or there was some sort of undue influence. The other exception would be a new appraisal is required by a documented pre-established either pre or post funding review, QC process, or underwriting guideline, or if it's required by law. Next, let's talk about the requirements for borrower receipt of appraisal. The lender must provide a copy of the appraisal or appraisals on the subject property promptly upon completion and at no additional cost. Now, the lender must provide the appraisal within 3 business days of closing unless the borrower signs a waiver 3 days prior to closing. And a revised copy of the appraisal can be provided at closing if there are revisions, as long as there's no change to the value. Appraiser engagement. A lender is responsible for selecting, retaining, and providing payment of all compensation to the appraiser. And the lender may not accept a report completed by an appraiser selected, retained, or compensated by any other third party. And let's take a look at the last piece here, which is a very important part, in that there must be separation between sales and appraisal functions within a lender's office. So any employee who is tasked with selecting the appraiser must be appropriately trained, qualified, and independent of the mortgage production staff. So in other words, a loan officer who is being compensated by commission for the loan when it closes cannot be the one who selects the appraiser for the actual transaction. Also, a lender's mortgage production staff, anyone who is compensated on a commission basis upon successful completion of the loan closing, or any person whose immediate supervisor is not independent of the mortgage production staff and process, is prohibited from selecting, retaining, recommending, or influencing the selection of any appraiser for any particular appraisal assignment, or for including them on a panel of appraisers. They're also prohibited from having any substantive communication with the appraiser or appraisement management company relating to or having an impact on valuation. So very important, there has to be a delineation between your mortgage sales production staff and your operations appraisal staff. And any type of communication really needs to go through the appraisal staff or the appraisal operations staff versus coming from the mortgage production staff or sales staff. All right, everyone, that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. For more tips and videos, please visit campusmortgage.org and watch for their weekly mortgage video tips designed for all mortgage professionals, including underwriters, loan officers, closers, post-closers, and processors. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.